Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very well. In today's video slash vlog slash video diary, I don't know what to call it, I'm going to be documenting my treatment for my health condition, which is called r-CPD. I have made quite a few videos about this situation. I kind of calmed down with the videos just because nothing's really changed. I'm still suffering daily, but if you want to know more in depth about everything that I'm suffering with right now, I will leave a link down below to the playlist, or my r-CPD playlist. But a quick recap for those that don't know, that don't want to watch all of those. I have this condition called r-CPD, which basically means I cannot burp. And it might not sound serious, it might not sound like a big deal to anybody. It's miserable. It is incredibly uncomfortable. It's incredibly painful. It's embarrassing as well because I make a lot of noises. I get these throat gurgles that are very loud. Extreme bloating to the point where, again, it's very painful. It hurts. Every day is incredibly uncomfortable and painful for me, basically, and it's got worse over the past few months. Even within the past week, for whatever reason, it has been so much worse, and nothing's changed at all. It's just acting a fool. It's to do with how much air you intake, that's all it is. So I have a muscle that's broken in my throat that doesn't allow me to burp. The muscle that allows regular people to burp in their throats doesn't work for me. Mine does not relax at all. So that means no burps can come out. Stuff can go downwards, but nothing can come upwards, really. It's got nothing to do with diet, exercise, lifestyle, or anything like that. It's to do with how much air you intake. And that then leads to the side effects of r-CPD. For the past 3-4 months, I think it's been now, no, longer than that, I have basically had not much of a life because of it getting worse. I can only eat when I know I'm going to be okay to lay down for hours and hours and hours afterwards, or sit down for hours and hours and hours afterwards. It's not ideal. Like, how can you have a lifestyle when you have to lay down for hours and hours and hours after eating? And then even then, you know, say if I fall asleep and wake up, I still feel absolutely miserable. It's basically, as soon as Lauren eats, it's the end of the day for her. So if I eat at like 3 p.m. or whatever, like my first meal, that's it. That's that day gone, right? It's now, I don't know what the time is. I think it's like 5:30. I ate a snack earlier. I ate a cereal bar and a pepperami, like a little small one. And I've been miserable ever since. I ate that at like 12, I think it was. And I lay down until like literally, what, half an hour ago. And I had a nap as well. And I've woke up and I feel awful. Like the whole of my stomach just feels incredibly bloated. Obviously, eating a cereal bar and a small pepperami isn't a good diet, but it's just like, no matter what I eat, I suffer. No matter what I drink, I suffer, you know? Like, I'm at the minute drinking Lucozade, which is flat. Water, for whatever reason, makes it so much worse. I think because there's a lot of like oxygen in water or whatever, which is air, which, you know, is not good for me. I've always had this condition. I don't have anyone in my life to ask if I burped as a baby or as a very small child. I don't remember doing that. I don't know if I was a hard baby to burp. My mum passed away nearly 9 years ago now, so I can't ask her, because even though I have had this thing my whole life, it's only really affected me a huge amount as I've been getting older, and then within the past few months. But I started to notice the r-CPD symptoms when I was around about 18, which is very common. That's when you know, start to go out more, start to like drink. I didn't start drinking alcohol until I was 29, and still to this day I don't drink much alcohol anyway. Yeah, when it bothered me when I was like 18 or whatever, it would only be like this random flare up if I'd gone out or whatever, and I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, I feel like I need to burp, but obviously I can't because I've never been able to burp, and I'd feel awful, but there was never a name for it or whatever. Like, I'd Google it saying, you know, I can't burp, or nothing would really come up because the majority of the population can burp. But this condition has only had a name since 2019, I believe. And there is only a handful of doctors that take this seriously, like literally a small amount of doctors. There's only 2 in the UK that do the treatment for this, and it's proven to work. You know, there's been so many success stories, which is fantastic. And I'm touching all of the wood in the world that I'm one of the people that, you know, take to the treatment very well, but there is a chance that I'm not going to. Oh, here we go. That's one of my r-CPD situations. All the air is trying to come out, basically. It's like a random hiccup, but it's not a hiccup. It's basically my stomach trying to expel the air, and it's not going anywhere. I'm just going to start getting more and more balloon-like, unfortunately. So, because I'm obviously talking, which means I'm taking in air. Like, literally, life is miserable. I cannot do anything apart from sit and lay down and be quiet. So the treatment of r-CPD, the only one at the moment, I guess until more research is done. There is one doctor who is an absolute angel. His name is Dr. Bastan. I think that's how you say it, or Bastain. So I don't know whether he still does a lot of research on this condition or not. I don't know, but he was one of the ones that come up with the whole treatment and diagnosis, and absolute angel, because he has saved so many people's lives and, you know, answered so many questions. And, you know, it just feels nice to know that there's people out there taking it seriously, because I had an experience of going to the doctor and being like, this is my symptoms, what do you think it is, kind of thing, and they were just like, oh, it sounds like an infection. How can I have an infection for 33 years and not be dead yet? I would love to know. Like, we won't go there again, because that was just a whole ordeal for me, and it was just, But yeah, so many people go to the doctors and just get diagnosed with other stuff that is completely irrelevant. So yeah, the potential cure for this condition is Botox in the throat, and like I was saying, there's only 2 doctors in the UK that do it. The one I'm going to is Dr. Lucy, who does it in office. So you go into outpatient hospital, and the whole thing takes about an hour. She'll have a good old conversation with you, asking about all your symptoms, just to make sure you have r-CPD, because obviously I can't get this diagnosed through a regular doctor, because they just don't take it seriously. So you have to be, again, diagnosed by her. And then obviously if you are a candidate, she'll then inject Botox into your throat. I think she uses some kind of monitors or whatever, and she'll put them on your throat to figure out where about the muscle is and where she needs to inject. I'm not worried about that though. I mean, I'm not one to like injections, but I'm not scared about that. It's the side effects that can happen. So for the first sort of 24 hours to 48 hours through reading people's experiences on this, that's fine. You can go about your everyday life. Some people start burping, you know, within a couple of hours of the treatment, which is amazing. And they'll do like little micro burps. I think that's just where little bits of air just come up into your mouth. And then some people won't see any results for about a week to 2 weeks. And then sometimes it just doesn't work at all. And that's mainly because the amount of Botox used wasn't enough. So I'm getting 50 units of Botox, which is on the lower end. But I think some people will get up to like 100 units in one session or appointment or whatever. But I would prefer to start off with a smaller amount anyway, because just anxiety. I've never had Botox before. My face is unbotoxed. It moves. So yeah, I don't know how I'd react to Botox and stuff, so I'd rather start off small than not, you know. And then if I do need to do it again, which can be quite common, so some people will need to do it twice and then they're good forever, never need it again. Some people will need to do it, you know, every 3-4 months, because Botox does wear off, and it might be something that I'd have to get done every 3-4 months. That's quite rare. It just depends per person, depends on your body, depends on your metabolism, depends on your muscle memory. So the aim of the game is to get it once, and then the muscle retains the memory of burping, and then that's it, you're good. You never have to have it again, and you burp like a normal person. With this treatment, there is unfortunately side effects, which is what I'm more worried about than anything in this whole situation. The side effects sound terrifying to me. So I'm highly emetophobic. I don't do well with throwing up at all. No. And some of the side effects are regurgitation, which, talking to people that burp, that's very normal. You know, like sometimes people will burp and a bit of food just comes out or whatever. Oh God. And because I don't do that, I'm not used to it. So I've gone 33 years with that never happening for me. So all of these people that are like in their 20s, 30s or whatever, growing up burping, being disgusting as a child, I've never had that. So I have to go through learning to like deal with burping at the age of 33. This is stuff you learn when you're like 2, 3, 4 years old. Not me. No. So I have to go through all of that. I feel so bad for Tom, because I'm probably going to be asking so many questions, asking like, is this normal? What's happening? Should I be worried about this? And he's probably gonna be like, no, that's so normal. What? Like, this is so foreign to me. Imagine never doing a bodily function and then all of a sudden possibly doing this bodily function. So that's another thing that I'm worried about. Another one is slow swallow, which is the most common side effect, and most people do get that, and that's basically what it says. When you swallow, it's very slow and there's a risk of like choking, which again, that's something that terrifies me to no end. And the fact that eating will be difficult for about a week to 2 weeks, possibly 3. So I guess a liquid diet will be what I'll be on for at least a week. And then obviously my throat's going to be pretty dang open because of this. So, you know, sleeping's probably going to be difficult. Like, I get acid reflux anyway. It can get even worse when you have the Botox. Luckily, I do take medication for that, so it's not as bad anymore, but it could get worse. And that's another thing that's worrying me. And oh God, I'm just worried. And I just have to keep reading on Reddit of success stories to remind myself that I will hopefully, I can't even say it because I feel like I'm jinxing myself. I'm touching wood again. I just feel like I might not be one of the lucky ones, you know, and I feel like, oh, I'm just going to be living like this forever, or I'm going to have all these terrible side effects and it's not going to work and I'm just going to be miserable for another month or whatever. I just want my life back. That's all I want. So yeah, tomorrow me and Tom are going down to London. He's driving. We're staying in a hotel. Where I'm going to is Chelsea in London, which is central London. We're staying in a hotel that's like 7 miles away from Chelsea, just so we can be in London in the morning instead of like rushing around in the morning, getting up early, faffing around with traffic and all of that. I would just feel better already being in London, if that makes sense. So we're going down tomorrow, and then obviously on the Monday is my appointment. My appointment's at 12:30, so that's kind of good because I'm not having to wait all day, if that makes sense, instead of having like an evening appointment or whatever where I have to wait the whole day. I think the nervousness would like kill me. And for full transparency, in case anyone is looking to get this done, it is pretty expensive, and that's another reason why I'm so like about this whole situation if it doesn't work, because the whole treatment thing is £850, and then obviously if you add on the hotel, petrol and all of that, because obviously Tom's driving but I'll give him petrol money, hotel, parking in London is no freaking joke, let me tell you. So this whole weekend is going to cost me like £1,000. So yeah, it's very pricey. That's kind of another reason why I just want to document the whole process, just to help people, you know what they're getting in for and whether they think it's a good decision for them. Obviously everyone's experience is completely different. I've learned that through reading other people's experiences, but I just want more information to be out there so people can make the decision. There is another way of getting this treatment as well by the other doctor that does this, but you go under, so like you're having an operation, and that's even more expensive. Like it's crazy expensive. I think I've seen numbers for between 3,000 to like 5,000 or 6,000 depending. I'm not sure what it depends on, and that will be like the last resort, I guess, for me. So I'm willing to give the in-office Botox a good few tries, like 2 or 3 tries, and then if not, I'd obviously have to save up a ton of money to try the other route, because obviously I can't live the way I'm living right now. It's not a life. Like, I barely go out. The most exciting thing I do during the week is probably go to Tesco, you know, because I can't go out and socialise, because then I just end up struggling, you know, constant talking and what have you. Anyway, I feel like I have talked far too much right now. Anyway, I'll check in tomorrow, which is the day before. Ooh. Good morning, it is Sunday. I'm just getting ready to go out and leave so we can head to London. Going?
I'm gonna put my shoes on, so it's gonna take me a while, isn't it?
That's true. Hello, it is day of procedure. I'm not so much nervous. I kind of just want to get it over and done with at this point. Yeah, I just want to go and get it done and then go home and take a nap. I didn't sleep all that well, mainly because I was nervous, and Tom can't, you know, lay like a normal person.
Shut up.
You were bouncing up and down like there was no tomorrow, and that made me bounce up and down and I couldn't sleep. Old man is putting his shoe on.
Yeah. What do you mean, like?
So yeah, my appointment's in literally like an hour-ish, I think, or just under an hour. And it'll take us about 20 minutes to get there. And then obviously we've got to figure out parking because it's London, and London parking is ridiculously expensive, and just being in London is stressful. Anyway, goodbye. Hi, hello, I've just had the procedure. I'll probably talk about it more when I'm at home, if that makes sense, just because like we're about to drive and all of that. But it was really quick. Like the consultation was a lot longer than the procedure. Like she was right in there with the needle and it was over and done so quickly. The only thing I have at the minute is like this lump in my throat that's kind of weird, but I'll talk about it more when I'm at home and stuff. But we're now about to take the 2-hour journey, 2 hour 10-minute journey home, and to stock up on yogurt because I might be on a liquid diet for a bit, so that's fun. Hello my darlings, it is now Wednesday the 29th of March. I have been terrible at giving you updates. I do apologise. I've just been chilling, relaxing and just taking in the whole process, if that makes any sense, because yeah, it's been, you know, an ordeal. It's not really an ordeal, but it's not something everyone goes through every day. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. That was a throat gurgle. So unfortunately, I'll just do a quick update before I talk about the whole process. Unfortunately, I have not burped yet. I'm still doing my throat gurgles and hiccups. It is still very, very early days. Some people can burp on the same day that they get the Botox, and sometimes it takes people a week or so. So at the minute, I'm very much, nothing's happening right now. I do have a bit of a slow swallow, but nothing dramatic. I think when I first started having it, I kind of freaked out a little bit internally. I was like, oh God, here it goes. Action stations, let's go, liquid diet kind of thing. But it's honestly not that bad, because yesterday I had some small bits of like chicken. I just chewed them up real good and swallowed them, and it was all good. And then for lunch today, I again had tiny little potatoes and tiny little bits of chicken again. And again, that was all good. I went to Tesco on the Monday when I got the Botox and bought so much dang yogurt and mousse and liquidy things that I could have. To be quite honest with you, at the minute, I don't need them. I mean, I've been eating them, obviously, so they don't go to waste. But I think I freaked out far too much at the minute. I mean, it could obviously all change because it's still very early days. Botox does take a while to set in. If you've ever watched someone do a sort of video diary of when they get Botox in their forehead, you'll notice that, you know, over a few days it starts to kick in. It does sometimes feel like there is something coming, like a gas bubble going into my throat. Like my throat feels kind of thick, but it's just not coming upwards. Yesterday I did try and drink some fizzy drink. I had like a couple of mouthfuls of cherry Coke and I was like, no, this is just making me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna drink anymore. So I gave some to Tom. I might try again later this evening to see if it gets anything moving along. But obviously if I can't burp, then I still feel incredibly uncomfortable with my r-CPD symptoms. My throat feels, now that I'm talking, because I haven't really talked that much since I've had it done, to be honest with you. Like Tom's been off work, he's gone back to work today. But yeah, me and Tom have just been watching TV, to be honest with you. We haven't had like a full-on conversation like I am now, like continuously talking. This is the first time I've done a lot of talking since I've had it. And I feel like, it feels like my throat feels like I've been talking for hours and hours and hours, when I haven't. I've literally been talking for about 4 minutes. So yeah, the whole process. So I saw the doctor and she obviously diagnosed me with the r-CPD. She asked me a ton of questions. She was so incredibly knowledgeable. It was just a breath of fresh air. Like I could literally cry thinking about it, that someone took me seriously with this. She was great, and how much knowledge she knew about it all. Oh my God, it was just, honestly, that was the best thing about this whole experience so far, is the fact that the doctor I went to, Lucy, was just amazing. And it was just so nice to have someone listen to me and not be like, oh, so that doesn't sound like anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it was so lovely. The whole process of getting the Botox was very, very quick. She put some like monitor things on me. I don't know the name of them, but she put some sticky things on me. And then she had the needle attached to something, I believe, and it was making a noise. And she got me to sniff and swallow once, I think, for both. And then that somehow tells her that she's in the right position, because this little machine that was making noise made a different noise. I don't know. She's very, very smart and very good at what she does. The needle going into my throat was not painful at all. It was nothing. Like, I don't know, I just didn't really feel that much. I have had my neck tattooed, so I've had a lot of painful neck situations in the past, you know, so in comparison to a neck tattoo, this was so easy. And yeah, when the needle was in, she was kind of moving it about, and then she got me to do the sniff and the swallow to make sure the needle was in the right angle to do the injection. She did the injection, and I felt like this lump in my throat all of a sudden. I could feel like the Botox being in there, and this very intense lump in my throat, kind of like when you're trying to hold back a cry session, but way more intense than that. It was pretty intense, and I had this like pain feeling again, as if I needed to cry. You have this split second of, oh my god, was that put in the right place? Is this normal? And as soon as she was like done putting like the needle away or whatever, she was like, okay, so you could probably feel a lump in your throat now, some sharp pain. And I was like, oh, thank god for that. Like, she knew exactly probably what I was thinking in that moment. And then she got me to sit up, and she's like, yeah, are you feeling okay? Just to make sure I wasn't dizzy or feeling a bit off. And I was like, no, I think I'm okay. Because it was so quick, and I mean quick, I was just like, wow, that was quick. And she was like, well, you know, like, I'm pretty good. Like, oh, it was just amazing. And she was the best doctor I've ever been to, honestly. And the whole thing took about 20-25 minutes maximum. The consultation and like the diagnosis was a lot longer than the process of the Botox. And Tom was in there with me as well, and he was like a witness to my illness, I guess, and he chimed in every now and then saying, you know, when I do very loud throat gurgles, he mentioned that sometimes he thinks it's my stomach because I'm hungry, and I always obviously say, no, I'm not hungry, that's just my throat. And he said that, and she was like, yeah, sounds about right. See, that could be a burp, that could be a freaking burp, and it's not coming up. I have had this condition like the whole of my life. My muscle could be way out of whack. It could need way more than 50 units to get it to open up and relax a bit. But yeah, the saving grace so far is the fact that I have this like official diagnosis, and you know, I have this doctor on hand if and when I need her. You know, she's more than happy to keep seeing me should I need more Botox and all of that, which is amazing. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I'll obviously keep you updated. I'll keep checking in. So it's still the same day. I'm now attempting to drink some cherry Coke just for some fizziness, in hopes that it helps some air come up or something, because I'm not feeling that gassy at the minute. Just got to take a little sip. Nothing's happening yet. It's so annoying because like Tom can literally burp on command, and he'll drink something fizzy and he'll burp straight after, like a lot of people, and I feel nothing. I feel air stuck. If I tap my chest, it might get it to move. Like, I can feel all this pressure in my like throat area. Oh, come on, please. Let's drink some more, see what happens. I'm only just gonna be uncomfortable. At the minute, I'm watching Vanderpump Rules. Oh, it's one of those shows that I've wanted to get into for ages, and I've tried a couple of times, but I've never gotten into it. And then I've seen nothing but Vanderpump Rules drama all over my like social media feeds, because I follow a lot of Housewives accounts or Bravo accounts. And I'm like, oh, I have to get into it. But I think I'm into it now. I'm on season 2 now. So I feel like it's only going to get better, because season 1 was a bit meh, but anyway. Oh, come on. It's just the gurgle noises. I don't think today's the day. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. Day 3 will hopefully be better. Okay, so I'm just sitting here watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey, because a new episode come out yesterday, I don't know. Anyway, I thought, oh, I'm just going to quickly check my emails. So Sorry, throat gurgle. Yeah, I'm sitting here chilling. I'll just quickly check my emails. There was this email from this secure messaging website saying, oh, Lucy, who was my doctor, has sent a email message to your doctor, and if you want to see it, you can download the PDF of it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I like signed up to this account or whatever, and I read the email. Oh my god. It's so good. But yeah, she sent a message basically like somewhat mansplaining what like r-CPD, what my symptoms were and all of that. It's like almost as sassy as the email I sent the doctor, being like, look, this is the condition, this is what I have. Because I did tell Lucy that I went to the doctor for this and said that this doctor said I had an infection for like 33 years, and she like giggled kind of thing. So she's messaged the doctor being like, I've seen Lauren, this is the condition, I've treated her, should I need to treat her some more, I will, I'll keep you updated. I'm like, yes, Lucy. What a babe. Love it. And it's just nice to have someone on my side, like an actual doctor, a professional. Just this alone is worth the money I've spent. Oh, there we go. Needed that. Unless something else happens. I will see you tomorrow. Hello, my darlings. I don't really have any updates for you, unfortunately. I haven't burped. I haven't done a micro burp. I'm just doing my skincare for this evening, night, or whatever. Ooh. Earlier, once I had eaten, and for a few hours afterwards, and like had a drink and stuff. I've had a fizzy drink again today, just to try out, you know, extra gas in my life. Not that I need any, but you know, I would get this feeling of like a golf ball size bubble of air in my throat, and it just sits there, and it doesn't come up. And it would get to the point, because you can move your head sharply to the left or to the right or downwards or upwards to see if you can get it to come out. And so I was trying to do that to see if I can get this like golf ball sized air that was like lodged in my throat. It happened quite a few times, but it would get to the point where my mouth would start like salivating. You know, like, I don't want to trigger anyone, but you know, like before you throw up, you get like a watery mouth, and that kind of freaked me out a bit. So I tried to make it stop, which is obviously not ideal, but the burps are just not coming up. But I've never had that sensation before of having like this golf ball like gas bubble or what, I don't know what it is, but nothing's happening. I'm just getting the gurgles at the minute. So I'm still like in absolute pain town as always, so not much has changed on that front, obviously, because I haven't burped yet. I'm not getting the relief, so I'm still fully in the r-CPD world, which is, you know, what I'm trying to come out of. Can't wait for the moment where I'm like, oh my god, I've finally done a burp. Like I told Jasmine, who keeps checking up on me every day. She's like, have you burped yet? Have you burped yet? And I'm like, no. But I told her, like, she will be the first to know. But unless anything changes, I will speak to you tomorrow and let you know how I'm getting on. Okay, hi, hello. You can't see me because I'm in my bedroom and it's dark and I can't be asked to get up and put the lights on because my stomach is hurting so bad right now. It's like 12:20. Tom's come home from work. But he's gone back out because he's so hungry. He's like, do you want anything? I'm like, no. My stomach is hurting so bad. So normally, like, when gas goes through my system, TMI, like through like my stomach, intestines, I don't freaking know, okay? It doesn't hurt too bad, because I feel like the gas bubbles that I get are like super small. But obviously I just get insane bloating and some cramping. But right now it's hurting so bad because I feel like the gas bubbles are a lot bigger than normal. And I just have to wait for it to go through, you know, but I'm not having fun right now. Hello, it is Friday the 31st of March. I've still not burped. I'm getting really frustrated with this. I just drank like a couple of mouthfuls of cherry coke again, and I'm just in pure agony. Like, nothing is happening at all. I honestly am starting to believe that I'm gonna need like a higher dose. I mean, it is still very early days. It can take up to like 2 weeks, a month for stuff to start happening. But like, I'm on day 4. I feel like at least something would have happened by now, you know? Okay, I have to be super careful because I'm not wearing a bra. Do you see how big this area of my stomach is? That's not normal for me at all. I'm in so much pain. I've never ever had anything like this before. It hurts and I don't know what to do. I'm trying to make dinner for Tom because he's working 2 jobs at the minute because he works full-time at a pub, and now he's got another full-time job, and he now works at the pub a couple of evenings a week, and sometimes like the time between his full-time job now and the pub is like he's got an hour. So I'm like trying to make him some food so he can eat something before he goes to like the pub. Oh, Jesus. I just made a hot water bottle, and I'm hoping that's gonna relieve some of the symptoms or something, I don't know, but this is not fun. I'm not having fun. Okay, some time has passed and I'm starting to feel a little bit better now. I'm gonna say TMI, but I have been tooting up a storm in the past like 10 minutes, and the bloatiness and the pressure that was in my stomach, it's starting to go down now. Oh, that was like kind of scary, to be honest with you, because I've never felt anything like that before, and I was like, oh god, like what have I done? What is my body doing? Like there's so many new experiences that I've had in the past few days when it comes to my body. It's just all a bit overwhelming, I won't lie to you, and yeah, I just get a little bit nervous and a little bit panicky, so I may sound a little bit dramatic or be acting a bit dramatic, but it's just so new to me. But I'm just going to be hugging my hot water bottle, I think, for the rest of the evening. And I just feel so incredibly guilty for like just doing nothing and like not editing and all of that, because I had pre-filmed a few videos so I could like have stuff to edit in case like I lose my voice or something, which is sometimes a side effect of the Botox. Like right now my throat just feels a little bit tired every time I speak, like it feels like I've been speaking for hours but I haven't. So yeah, I had like stuff pre-filmed while I'm like recovering. Oh I didn't realise I'd probably end up suffering like this, you know. Hello, it is Sunday the 2nd of April. I didn't do a check-in yesterday because I was having the worst cramp ever. Womb cramp, nothing to do with r-CPD in any way, shape or form, but there's been no change, so I wasn't like in a rush to do a check-in because nothing's changed. Nothing, zero. I'm still the same. We're on day 6 and nothing, not even a micro burp. The weird pressure I would get in my throat to feel like I was gonna have a burp, that has, I don't know where that's gone. I don't have that at the minute. My slow swallow situation, that seems to be next to nothing at the moment. Like every now and then one swallow here and there when I'm eating feels a little bit uncomfortable, but nothing that's, you know, affected my life at all. Still drinking fizzy drink. The only bit of happiness I've had this past, I don't know, week or whatever is your girl has some Pepsi Max. It's been so long. I think the last time I had Pepsi Max was at Christmas. I got some for Christmas because like it's Christmas. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna have one of my like favourite drinks. So I'd had some when Yasmin came round one evening and I was miserable because like obviously all my r-CPD symptoms were happening. I mean, they happen no matter what, but fizzy drink does make it a little bit worse. So I hadn't had any since Christmas, and then I had my first glass yesterday. And it was just like, oh my god, the sweet taste of Pepsi Max. But it didn't make me burp, so every day I'm having like a glass of fizzy just to see if it gets anything going. And I've drank like nearly this much and nothing. Anyway, if anything changes, I of course will update you. Good morning, it is Tuesday the 4th of April, and yesterday I didn't do a check-in. But yesterday I started doing the tiniest little burps ever. Like they're called micro burps, and they were incredibly uncontrollable at one point. So I just eaten, I think it was like 40 minutes after I'd eaten or something like that. And me and Tom were watching The Night Agent on Netflix, if anyone's watched that. It's pretty good. It's one of those TV shows that like passes time. Anyway, no one cares about that. I don't know how it started happening, but I think like me and Tom were like talking or laughing or whatever. And these like tiny little burps just started happening. And at first I was like, wait, what the hell was that? But it was a new sensation. Something, you know, that I haven't had yet. Tom at first, I don't think he heard a couple of them and he was like, wait, what? And then they started to get a bit more audible, but they were so uncontrollable. So they were coming out when I was like talking and laughing. Yeah, the sensation was so bizarre, and the fact that I couldn't control it, I'm not gonna lie to you, it sent my anxiety up sky high. I was not enjoying it. Like at first I was like, oh my god, I've done it. And then I was like, holy shit, that was actually quite horrible. Oh my god, I just did another one. It was just a tiny little air puff that just come out of my throat. Oh. Like, I don't know why it makes me anxious. I think the thing that's making me so anxious is the fact that it's very uncontrollable. Like I can't stop it. and that's a part of my like emetophobia with like throwing up. Like you cannot stop it, and because it's the same kind of, it's not the same function, but like it's coming out this way and I can't make it stop, it's making me so freaking anxious. And I knew I'd probably struggle with it a little bit, but I didn't realise I'd be struggling with it this bad. And this kind of uncontrollable burping situation, when it just comes out, you can't control it, it can go on for quite a while. So I'm hoping I'm gonna get used to it. But like I woke up this morning and I was just scared to have a drink, you know, because I was like, oh god, it's gonna start, and I need to get out of that mind frame. I've got some Pepsi in here again because I've got to make it happen, because I've got to get the muscle to retain the memory of it happening. Otherwise there's a chance that when the Botox wears off within 3 to 4 months, I'll go back to square one. So yeah, I was going to do like a quick video check-in yesterday, but the anxiety took over and I was scared if I was to talk a lot it would happen more. But I really have to get out of the mind frame of like, it's scary and I need to get used to it. Oh, this is a lot for me right now. It's a lot, because obviously I'm doing this so I can have a better life. Should it get to the point where I can burp like a normal person instead of these little puffs of air that come out uncontrollably. Oh my god, that was the first gurgle that turned into a burp. I had like a little puff of air come out again. I'm rubbing my pits because they're itchy because I'm sweating. Because this is so... Anyway, I'm gonna go. Bye. Hello, it is April the 5th. We're on day 9 now, post Botox or Throtox. Today has been pretty dang disappointing. Unfortunately, there has been 0 burps whatsoever. Not a micro burp, not a full-on burp, nothing. Just the usual throat gurgles. Nothing's coming up. Like literally nothing. I have been drinking Pepsi Max all dang day and nothing. I will probably now just get a ton of gurgles from just doing that instead of burping like a normal person would when they down quite a bit of fizzy drink, right? I don't know if it's because I haven't really spoke at all today, if at all, like because Tom has been out all day. So I've basically just been like home alone and not said anything at all, really. But like, it's gonna sound weird, but when I had eaten my food, I thought, well, Tom's not here to test the theory of whether it's when I talk I burp, which has been the case for the 2 days that I was doing the tiny little burps that I was doing. I was kind of just sitting there watching TV, just going, like that, trying to make a noise. And no, seriously, I just did a tiny little burp in my mouth. Are you for real right now? It was just a tiny little bubble. This takes the freaking piss. Why is it when I just talk normally and I'm like relaxed, not thinking about it, they come out? It was just the tiniest little bubble though, so I don't think it was much. Hang on. But yeah, when I was eating, or after I was eating, I was just sitting downstairs and I was like, and then just like started singing and nothing was happening. So I was like, okay, maybe today is just not a day for me to be burping, which can happen. There can be like good days and bad days. Does this mean I have to spend my whole life talking just to burp, just to get something out? But nothing's happening now, so I think that might have just been a fluke. I've got nothing else to say, but oh my god, oh my, is this for real? I have spent all day miserable because nothing has been happening, and I'm just sitting here now talking and it's happening. This takes the piss. I can't be doing this all day, just sitting here talking to myself like a fucking loony. But did you hear that? Oh my god. This is so frustrating. I just want to be able to just sit there and for it to happen. You know, like when normal people burp, right? You just sit there and it just comes out for you, right? I would imagine. Not for me. I apparently have to talk to get it out. And even then, it's nothing. Oh, it keeps happening. I keep getting these little bubbles in the back of my throat. Oh, I can feel one. I can feel it. But it just doesn't come out. This is so frustrating. Hello, my darlings. It is Wednesday, the 6th of April. I've not had anything again today. I ate like 2 hours ago now. And all I've had is just intense gurgles, almost feeling like I need to burp, but nothing coming up. So I'm here in hopes that if I start talking, something's gonna happen, because again, I was downstairs, Tom's at work, and I was just sitting there singing to myself and nothing was happening. So I'm hoping maybe, I don't know what it is about me just sitting on the floor here and talking, but you know, that made some burps happen the past 2 days. The only thing I can start to feel happening, which is something that's been happening every night since I think Monday, I don't know, is I will get intense stomach cramps, and not like Shark Week period cramps, but they're like, I don't know what it is, but my stomach hurts so bad every dang night just before bed. And I don't know whether it's because I have bigger gas bubbles going through my system because I'm almost burping, but then it's all going back down the way. I don't know, but I have been going through some things, and last night was terrible. It was so painful, and I can feel it starting to kick in again today, and I'm just hoping that this is like a temporary thing. I'm not having a good time with it at all. It's just so painful, and I've been using a hot water bottle, and just it's been hot. That's all I can say. It's been very hot. Like, I don't have a cover on my hot water bottle, and I'm just trying to do anything to stop the cramping. Again, I'm still drinking some fizzy stuff because, you know, the more air in me, the better. The more chance there is of me burping, obviously. I'm just getting gurgles. There's nothing, which is really disheartening because, like, I don't know, I felt like I was making a little bit of progress with the little mini burps I was having. Just gurgling. It's so freaking frustrating, honestly. I'm just trying to keep positive, but it's so dang hard. It's really hard to have a positive mind set right now. I wish my updates were a lot more exciting, but there's nothing to add right now. So, yeah. Hello. Oh. Hello, it is Saturday the 8th of April. I'm sitting on the floor in my living room looking like a hot ass mess. It's literally 5 a.m. And this thing keeps happening. So it happened way before the Botox. But the last time I had a really, really bad cold, which was, I think, like December 2021, I had a horrific cold. It wasn't COVID. But ever since then, and I would have this feeling anytime I had a cold, but ever since my last one, it just happens randomly now, and it basically, it's this feeling, the only way I can ever describe it is as if you have inhaled a toast crumb and it's gone like the wrong way, right? And I'd only get this feeling when I had a cold, right? Because obviously my throat would be messed up. But ever since my last major cold, this feeling would happen randomly. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, or sometimes it will just happen when I'm awake. All of a sudden it's like this toast crumb kind of feeling that starts kind of low in my throat area, around about here. And then it starts to like travel upwards through like the muscle or whatever. It'll just make me cough. And I can feel it travelling. It's so weird, but I can feel it travelling. And sometimes it will just go like into my nose region, and then it all of a sudden just disappears. But the majority of the time it will happen when I'm asleep. And then I'll wake up and then just be like coughing and trying to, throat muscles are just trying to get rid of it. Whatever it is, it's the most bizarre thing. Anyway, it's been happening a lot since I've had the Botox. And normally it would happen probably once or twice every 2 weeks, normally. But it's happening a lot since I've had the Botox. Anyway, it's just happened now. And I'm still kind of struggling because I can still feel this feeling. It's now sort of here-ish, but in the back of my throat. And the other times that it's happened since having the Botox, it's not been too bad. But this time, whoo, it's like I woke up and I could feel it happening. And I just do my normal thing of try not to panic, because it can get to the point where I'm trying to cough it out, whatever this thing is. So it's nothing, but it's like a little spasm, I don't know. But I try and cough it out sometimes, but it'll get to the point where I start like nearly gagging. But it hasn't been to that point since having the Botox, but it's been more frequent. Am I making any sense? I don't know. Anyway, it was just super bad because I felt myself getting to the point where I was going to start gagging. I pretty much did, to be honest with you. And I could just feel myself like not being able to breathe that great. So I was just like, right, I need to get up and get out of bed. Also, I have not burped, but I've had nothing, just pure uncomfortableness. It's worse than before the Botox when it comes to not burping, because it gets higher up, the air, and it just goes back down. And it's just so uncomfortable. Whereas before, any trapped air would be like sitting around about here, but it goes right up into my throat, and I sometimes feel like I'm like suffocating on air. I can't explain it. It's just so intense. Hello, my darlings. It is Sunday, the 9th of April. This will be my last check-in for this video because I'm posting this video on the day that I'm filming this. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Anyway, I have 0 updates for you, unfortunately. I have not burped, I think, since Thursday was the last one I did. I think the last one I did actually was the one I recorded, where it just come out and it surprised me. I've had nothing since then. All I've had is just pure uncomfortableness. The burps do come up, but they don't come out. It's like they get stuck, and I'm constantly feeling like I'm choking on air, basically, for like hours after I eat. I'm not having a good time with it at all. I'm almost at the 2-week mark now, and I feel like I should have at least had a big audible relieving burp by now. Again, it's still somewhat early days in comparison to people that don't see any results until like a month or 2 months in. Also, yesterday and today when I'm drinking, I'm having a bit of slow swallow, but just with drinking, like it's taking drink forever to go down. It kind of just like gets stuck in this region, which is very uncomfortable. So I have to make sure I don't drink too much, but even like a little sip, it gets a little bit stuck. So that's again a new sensation. I honestly think that if I had like 75 units or maybe even the 100 units, I probably would have had a much better result. I feel like it's got me somewhere, but not enough. I needed just a little bit more to tip me over the edge to get me to burp properly and more regularly. So I don't know, I could be at like a little plateau at the moment and it could all start happening again, or this is it. I've had as good as results as I most possibly could have, and I'm probably going to spend the next 2-3 months, for however long this Botox is in my system, being incredibly miserable until I can get another one. So I'm hoping as soon as I can get another Botox injection, if nothing changes obviously, I will be straight in that office. I'll be like, please stab me once more, because I feel like it's gonna work hopefully next time. If I get more, I just need a little bit extra. Like if I could go today and get like 25 units, I feel like that would be enough to just push me over the edge to get me to do the burps, right? I might continue doing like little video diaries just to see if anything changes, and if anything does change, I will let you know as soon as possible. I'll keep you updated on whether I need another injection. I'm at the minute waiting for Lucy to email me. I haven't emailed her, but she said she'll do a check-in to see how I'm getting on. I can't remember the time frame she gave me for that. I can't remember if it was like 2 weeks after the procedure or a month. I'm not sure. Tom has said I'll just email her and see, you know, what can be done, but I don't think you can have Botox again until at least 10 weeks after the first one. So there's nothing that can really be done at the minute anyway, so I don't feel like, you know, bothering her. So yeah, I'm trying my goddamn hardest to be positive, but at the minute I'm feeling worse than I did before. But the fact that I've had those little micro burps, you know, it makes me think, okay, I just need a little bit more and we'll get there. The only thing that's really put me down at the minute is the fact that my life is still on hold until otherwise. You know, like I can't really function much at all because I wake up bloated now. Like I'm not having any relief, because before the Botox I'd wake up and feel completely normal and then gradually start to feel worse and worse and worse. But I'm waking up with like some mild cramps every now and then and feeling like I'm kind of like suffocating on air. That's not fun, you know. Now my life is fully on hold and I feel like I can't do anything at all. I'm just so grateful that everyone in my life has been so understanding and haven't been impatient with me or been like, oh, come on, just get on with it. Just get on with your life. Come on, like it's not that bad. But luckily, I think they see it as they don't know how I feel, so they're not making a fuss about it, if that makes sense. Because everyone in my life can burp, I'm the only person that can't. So that's been a saving grace to have, you know, a nice support system. You know, Tom's been very understanding, Yasmin's been very understanding. She come up on Friday, bless her, and she come and saw me and, you know, sat with me for a bit, and we just had a good old chit chat, and that was really nice. Because again, like, even the thought of traveling anywhere just makes me, I mean, I'm uncomfortable anyway, but like being out of my comfort zone right now, which is basically my home, it's not for me. Like, I can't, like, I get anxious at the thought of going to Tesco in case I start to feel really, really terrible. Sometimes you have to go through a storm to get to the rainbow, right? So I'm hoping that, sure, maybe the next 2-3 months are going to be terrible and I'm going to be, I don't know, housebound in that time. Hopefully by autumn, touching wood, fingers crossed, I'm hoping by autumn I'll be okay. You know, just, yeah. Hopefully the next time I do one of these videos, it's not all doom and gloom. And until my next video, bye.